What's up? I'm doing week 6 now because the Bills are playing the Jets, and I'm going to do that the next day. So I'm going to do this a little bit differently, and I'm going to go through this football thing because I don't want to waste no time. So let me get into it right now. San Francisco beat Seattle. Brock Purdy looked really well. Debo had a big catch. Geno Smith did pretty good for Seattle. That kickoff return, but they stink. They don't play no defense. And the Seahawks went 3-0 and they're 3-3. And they are a very average team. Somebody's got to win the division. It's interesting. It's the 49ers bachelor pad. Who are we kidding? They may have a couple hiccups here and there, but they're clearly far and away the best team there. The Rams mentally are incompetent. Sean McVay, he got 2 Super Bowls, one appearance and 1 chip. He lost how to coach. And Matthew Stafford, they just not bringing it. And the Seahawks, it's a nice, 7-10, maybe 8-9 kind of story, but they're no threat to nothing. They don't play no defense. Geno Smith's comeback story is nice, but they just not good. And Kyle Murray got decent offense. They don't got no. Their team is dysfunctional. He should go somewhere he can get shine because he's got something. The Bears spanked Jacksonville in London. They should leave Jacksonville over there or leave them somewhere out the country. They don't belong back in the States. Trevor Lawrence just ain't cutting it no more, and Doug Peterson didn't forgot how to coach. Caleb Williams is looking pretty good. But the Bears have been consistent on defense and special teams. They're looking pretty good, and they got a receiving situation. So they may or may not be a problem. We don't know quite how. We'll see what happens when they play the Green Bays and the Minnesotas. But beating Jacksonville, you can beat them anywhere on the planet. Tampa Bay spanked New Orleans. Backup quarterback is in for New Orleans. Baker Mayfield was very all over the place, but they had enough tangible plays, big plays on offense and defense, and they clobbered them in New Orleans. So Tampa Bay is what I still think of as a second tier team, but it was impressive for what they did. The game of the day was Baltimore Washington. Everyone was looking for Jaden Daniels against Lamar Jackson, and they lived up to the hype. It was a close game. Baltimore just a little bit more seasoned. That's what it came down to. They made a couple runs, a couple plays. Washington ain't there on defense. Offense can kind of hang. They had a couple, again, it's the growing pains of being on the come up. But I will tell you something. This got the makings. These two teams come back in a year or two, a couple years from now. Washington's for real. It could be a real rivalry. Green Bay beat Arizona. That's not a surprise. I mean, Jordan, if Green Bay can stay healthy, watch out. If they can stay healthy, that's the opportune word. But and I think Kyle Murray's doing pretty good, but it's just not in the cards there. I mean, the team is not that good, but Green Bay won. Indy beat Tennessee. Tell you about Joe Flacco, September, October. So when you gotta get to mid-November, December, you got a problem with him. But if he can play the first two months and January, February, he looks like one of the 25 greatest quarterbacks ever. It's the in between why he's pushing the 81 to 199. That's the problem with him. Just that part of him. But the Colts got a little feistiness, but again, they beating the teams they're supposed to. Houston beat New England. That's a no-brainer. The first time they've ever won there. So that should tell you how dominant Brady and Belichick and them were. I mean, like Maine was quarterbacking for the Patriots, but they're totally tanking. They don't have no offense. They have none at all. C.J. Strauss hit Tay Diggs. They have no offense, so that's not a surprise. Philly beat Cleveland. That was a big catch by A.J. Brown. It was one of those games if you lose this game, you need to fire everybody in Philly. So they had to win that game. That was a no-brainer. Deshaun Watson is still a no-show, but Cleveland's defense has played pretty good. They had a couple of games. They've been in a couple of games. They just don't have the finished horses. That's all. So Jalen Hurts, no turnovers. They did what they're supposed to do. Chargers beat the Broncos. I know some people are going to say the Broncos came coming back. Now, it was over with. And I'm going to tell you something. Sean Payton makes himself not likable, hard to deal with. And his antics and his tiredness, that's not a good look. A young team. But you're seeing teams that are kind of similar. So it's not too much of a surprise with this whole thing. So just thought about that. Pittsburgh spanked the Raiders. Who doesn't spank the Raiders? And the thing about it was they look good with the running attack and the balance. The Raiders are headed towards a ping pong. You already know how it is. Atlanta beat Carolina. And whoever's quarterback in Carolina, it's going to be some pick sixes or some situations. But Atlanta's going to win those kind of games. Atlanta is one of those feisty little teams, so keep your eyes on that one for sure. Cincinnati beat the Giants. That's not a surprise. They actually killed them to 7 points. Tell you, without Saquon Barkley, the Giants may have actually won about 7, 8 games. They're going to lose about 4 or 5 games by not having someone that can, you know, demand the command because Daniel Jones left to his own devices. They're not a good team. So Cincinnati won a game that they supposed to and did make it close. It was an ugly game. You knew it was going to be ugly, and you knew they're going to win. And of course, the game that we all had fun with. How about those Cowboys? How about those Cowboys? How did it turn out? Oh, Dak Prescott. Oh, Dak Prescott. Oh, man. Woo! Woo, Detroit just came in and was playing Globetrotter basketball. You know, I'm going to use 2 boxing references, old school. If you ever saw Raging Bull, Jack LaMotta sat there with Sugar Ray Robinson and just took those punches and got clocked. Or for you Rocky Balboa fans, Rocky 3 with Mr. T Clubber Lang. That's how the Cowboys were. They played last year. Detroit tried to play cute. Didn't finish the job. Got robbed. There was no such thing this year. They came back this year and they went to town. They wailed on their behinds. Tore that beat the door handles off of them. It's the kind of loss. If you're Jerry Jones, you might want to walk around with a bag over your head. Dak Prescott, you don't want to say nothing. Mike McCarthy on Meathead, you need to start applying for collecting unemployment or get your residual. Have fun because you ain't going to last with this situation. You stink. And the defense is horrible. And the cameraman was the only one that could keep up with the Detroit Lion receivers. I think Stevie Wonder would have a better chance. It was just really bad and brutal. No running game because Ezekiel Elliott runs like Bubba from Sanford and Son. No running game, no shame. And you go to Dallas now, and if you're a really good to a great team, you're going to put a 40 burger on them. You're going to put 40 on them. You're going to run them. They're not going to stop you. And Dak's going to have stat, which he didn't even get to do yesterday. That's how bad it was. Because that old Poochie kicking them field goals, they butt got waxed. They got waxed. Bad. Brutal. Good. Get tired of hearing about the overrated Dallas Cowboys. Tomorrow we'll do, everything goes right, I'll do the Bills and the Jets. That one awaits. That has big time implication AFCs. But so far we're done with the bulk of week 6. Let me know how your team did. Please hit like, subscribe, work on thoughts, comments, and I do respond. Thank you. Wash your hands. Keep your mind clear. Watch out for another. Share the video if you like. Hit that membership. Stay safe, stay blessed, stay true, stay woke, stay free. I'm out one time. Peace.